Okay. Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? All right. It's a beautiful image to see everyone here and what y'all built in the community that you're building. And it's a deep honor for me to be in spirit with you all and be in presence with you all. For those I haven't met, I see some old friends, some comrades here. For those I don't know yet, know that I'm your movement cousin from California. I'm with Silicon Valley Debug. I flew out here specifically to bring honor and share tribute to what Reuniting Families Bail Fund has built. So can I get a round of applause for the amazing movement work that Heather and the team have built? And look, it's one thing to do anything consistently and excellently for 5 years. It is a whole different thing to do liberation work for 5 years and to build and to fight against the norm of incarceration, of racism, of slavery. And that is what Reuniting Bail Fund is a fortress against. This is a historic organization, part of a historic movement that is changing not just Montgomery County, not just Pennsylvania, but this country, humbly and proudly. And I want you all to acknowledge that, to know that well after this evening is done. Now, I want to say I first met Heather, must have been a decade ago, right? And we were messing around with this idea of participatory defense. Is there a way, do we have the audacity to believe that people themselves, that families themselves, actually have the power, the intellect, and the capacity to fight back against incarceration and bring loved ones home? And it was an experiment in justice. It was an experiment in the audacious. And I could say now, a decade later, we have the proof in the fact that there are families literally reunited because of the work that's coming out of Norristown. And I know that there's people here tonight that have saved brethren, sisters, family members, and I want to applaud y'all. If you want to raise your hand if you use participatory defense to bring home a loved one, make some noise, be visible, be vocal. And you all should know that there's movement senseis here from Philadelphia. We got Martha here and Chris here, Mr. Steve's here. I saw Akeem yesterday. And we got liberation and freedom fighters from Louisiana, Fox and Robert here. And if you haven't seen the documentary Time, you need to see it because it'll help you have even a clearer lens of how beautiful Time 2 is that we had the great fortune of being able to see in a special showing last night. But I did want to say one thing because it is a timely event to be having a celebration like this. Because this is honoring 5 years of sustainability, of growth, of building, of community. But right now, we need to build these institutions maybe more than any other time in my lifetime. A couple days ago, this country voted in a dictator. It was through the ballot box that there was, not just nationally, but on state levels, on local levels, an indictment. There was a declaration that white supremacy thought it was going to take it to another level. What do we do in an era like this? We've looked at the history books. We know our past. We know that we have survived an era of 3 strikes. We've survived an era of the war on drugs. We've survived an era of what they called the super predator. Do folks remember those eras?
Yes.
Those were war times.
Yes.
We didn't bring everyone back out of that battlefield. But right now, right here, we're in the start of a new era.
Yes.
Start of a whole new era. And if we don't move with each other, turn to one another, in the spirit that brought us here tonight, we may be named in another era like that.
Yes. Yes.
So there is a prescient question in front of us right now. Are we going to be defined by the era of the politics of the time, or are we going to define our era?
Yes.
And I believe what we're seeing today is we're building the things that could create our own era. So we name our own time period,
Yes.
particularly for the young people in the room. What Heather, with the Reuniting Bail Fund, what the participatory defense hubs are doing on a weekly, intimate, proximate level is certainly saving lives, but we're also building a fortress. What the Reuniting Bail Fund is a fortress of justice against all those things that are coming towards us to take our people.
Yes.
And to talk about it in a more realistic way, they're trying to attack bail funds specifically because they know that that's a road to freedom.
Yes.
That's why they're making them illegal in certain states. They're taking away the funding. They're prosecuting people that do bail funds. That's how you know it's effective. That's how you know it's a threatening tool for justice, because the system is so afraid of what Reuniting Families and other bail funds have built. But we need to build our own institutions and protect our own institutions. And I could say this loudly and proudly. I will come back here in another 5 years to pay tribute to a decade of sustaining, of growth, of evolution, and freedom of the Reuniting Bail Fund. So thank you, Heather. To another 5 years.